Hey, Steve Brosman here, and I'm going to tell you of something that is very exciting, very unique, that is coming up real soon that you have an opportunity to get involved with. It is a new type of training because we've been talking to some people lately and they're frustrated and fed up with people that are just teaching the theory, and that's all they do. They make their money from just teaching the theory and they don't do it themselves. What if you could learn from 3 industry leaders that have built their business around doing the doing that they're actually going to show you how to do? Not only are you going to learn the strategies, the tactics, and everything they've done to build their own businesses, but you're going to spend some time live with them, not only learning it, but implementing it into your business. This new type of training over a 90-day period where you're going to spend 3 days with each of these 3 leaders, they're going to help you implement it into your business. Because if you're like most people, you don't need to learn anything more. You need to be able to implement it into your business. And that is what's going to go on. Now, you probably should see now the Business Unleashed Blueprint, and that's what we're going to be going through. Myself, Michael Griffiths and Kelvin Holliday have got together and said, what is it that we can help businesses most with, and how can we deliver it in a way that they're going to get some fantastic results? And that is what we've put together. Now, I'm just going to duck over to my computer so I can explain it a little better, and then I'm going to run through my part of the training, and then you're going to get to meet Michael and Kelvin, and they're going to run through exactly what they're going to cover and how it's going to really transform your business in the next 90 days.
Okay, well, as you can see, I'm back at my desk and I have the Unleash Your Business Blueprint right in front of me. I'm going to quickly go through, show you why it's put together this way, and then I'll get into and show you exactly what it is that I'm going to be doing in my section of the training and how you can really grow your business with it. It's broken up into 3. It's the authority sales, and first and foremost is creating your position out there as a leader in the marketplace. The reason we're doing that first is once we create that and then show you how you can get out there, market yourself, and then learn how to sell, then you're going to be ready to go on to the next step, which is with Michael. He's going to show you some referrals, strategic partnerships, how to build your teams, and how to actually create a greater flow of leads. The reason we're not doing that first is we create a great flow of leads to you, then you need to be ready with your sales. That's why we're teaching the sales first. The other part of it is the positioning. By seeing you as a leader out there in the marketplace, everything that you're going to be doing with Michael is magnified, and being able to refer you as the leader is going to be able to generate so many more leads. Then we're actually building the systems. They're going to be specific to you because each of you will need a different set of systems, and Kel's going to show you how you could certainly magnify and unleash your personal and team leadership, build those systems, but then most importantly, you're going to be actually outsourcing some of them on site, and he's going to go through step by step. Now, let's quickly get into my training. I talk a lot about the brown box syndrome, and if you're a person out there competing very heavily with others that are very similar to you in the marketplace, you probably feel as if you're a brown box. People don't really get to know who you are and how good you are until they unwrap the box. But unfortunately, by you being seen the same as everybody else, they're choosing quite often the wrong people, and it's not until they really do get to know you that they know that they should have chosen you. What we're going to go through in the training is show you how you can really stand out and attract the high level clients that you really do deserve. And it is all based around this blueprint. The blueprint about claiming your authority DNA, creating your packaging and your blueprint, then communicating it out there, and then most importantly, how do we take it and how do we make selling so much easier and take the stress out of it? Now, all of you do something different. There is something of the way you do things that is yours, the way that you do it. In the training that we're going to be doing, we've got the 3 days to work together. In the training, the first thing we're going to do is actually uncover what it is and then how we can communicate it out there in the marketplace. Right through this quick 10, 15 minute video, I'm going to show you case studies, real case studies that are working right now. And one of the easiest ones is a mortgage broker, and there's lots of those out there, and they're very, very competitive. And all they basically say is, I can get you the best home loan. What you will learn is how you could take and create your own positioning. And we took this one guy who was titled as a mortgage broker, and turned him into a property portfolio strategist. Just a change in the title and a change in the perceived outcome that he was delivering his people. He basically went from a suburban mortgage broker and merged with one of the leading law firms in Melbourne, and that really helped him grow his business. One of the things that we're going to teach you in the promote is using different types of videos, and he used videos very extensively, just simple video emails that cost him nothing to certainly grow his business. The other thing that we're going to be talking about in there is how you can get your book out there. In fact, the last day of the 3 days is going to be spent half on videos and showing you how to use videos very effectively to get your message out there. And the other half is all about how you could be seen as a leader with a book. And then when he put his book out, become an Amazon best-selling author, life changed. He actually tripled his sales in 3 weeks, got new referral partners, which is what Michael's going to talk about, just by having his book out and being seen as that leader and authority. So one of the other ones, another very brown box title, is a business consultant, and the way that she worked with people was different to most others. And when you uncover the outcome, she became the back pocket CEO. She did things differently, produced a book, and then got invited and was named one of the top 20 global innovators in consulting, and had to fly to London to get an award. So that's one of the different things in create your positioning as different and unique out there. And then certainly when you get into the referral side of it, you will be able to use it so much more extensively. Here's a little brag slide, but it does open doors. Your positioning, if you want to write this down, your perceived positioning predicts your profits. Pam and I, we've been invited around the world speaking on many stages because we have taken the opportunity to position ourselves as being different. Now, let's move on. We've gone through the positioning. The next part of it is create. First and foremost, create unique outcome-based packaging. Now, there are a lot of professionals out there that sell their products and or services as in dollars per service or dollars per hour. When you do that, you point a big red arrow at your price saying, please compare me. And if you're competing on price, have a look at the way you're packaging yourself. Now, when you package it as an overall program with an overall outcome, people generally stay to the finish and they will complete the program. But if you just say, well, yeah, we should do that in 10 sessions, then they'll probably get halfway through it, feel good, or believe that they're finished and then stop. When you package your product and service as an outcome-based program, your retention rates will go through the roof. Therefore, your results will go through the roof, and therefore your ability to get referrals will go through the roof. And people have just made a massive difference in their business by just creating the changes in packaging. And as I say, sell and package the aspiration, not the perspiration. Packaging it for what they want, not what it takes you to deliver. Be outcome based, and people will pay much more per outcome than they will per hour. Now, here's a very generic one. A personal training studio, they basically sell training sessions. We tweaked a few things. Instead of just selling training session, we did a lifestyle renovation program. Renovations always on the TV. People know what it is, a lifestyle renovation. So instead of selling 1, 2, or 3 per week into their program, they basically sold this one out, 100 new clients into that lifestyle renovation program, because a lot of people want a lifestyle renovation, a lifestyle makeover, and that's what it was. So what is it that you could do? We will be spending several hours on working on your programs and products to be able to position them uniquely out there so people say, that is what I want. So a podiatrist, we changed his positioning. We changed some of the packaging. So instead of just being a podiatrist, he became Southeast Queensland's leading functional podiatrist just by doing things a bit differently. Doubled clients. So this works in the allied health and the fitness industry, most service providers. It works perfectly. Change your position, change your packaging. He doubled his clients in just 7 months. Now, onto the blueprint. You've seen the Unleashed blueprint, you've seen my blueprint. Why does it work? It actually works on a scientific basis. We absorb images. We look at images, we can remember them. Verbal is linear. You've probably already forgotten what I was saying 4 minutes ago. But when we sit down and we look and we work through a blueprint, it will be there and it will be ingrained in you. You use it to inspire, not to inform. You don't try and educate the people. I'll talk about value pit stops and how crucial they are. And you can own that blueprint. You can be the creator of the instead of just saying, I deliver good services. When you're the creator of the something, your positioning goes up. So this is the blueprint conversion system. It is a blueprint. As you look at it and say, well, yeah, it's got this in it. It's got alliteration, claim, create, communicate, convert, and you can work through it. And parts of it, you'll remember instead of me just trying to tell you. Okay, here's one, and this is what Michael is actually going to be showing you in just a few minutes' time. He uses his blueprint in most of his presentation because it very easily explains how he works with you and creates the teams to create a constant set of leads and referrals into your business. When Michael had a very, very successful business before he implemented his blueprint, he went right through. He went through and he remarked back to me, 87 sales without missing one when he first started using the blueprint. But more importantly, he actually shortened the sales cycle. Instead of having longer conversations on the phone with people to get them started, they cut the time down. People were excited because they could actually see a result there, and therefore they were able to help a lot more people. And he'll go through his blueprint in just a minute. Digital marketers, and there are so many out there. This one here, a guy was all over the place. He did this, but when he condensed it down into a blueprint and then worked through this blueprint with the people, his business changed. He went from not being able to sell the first part of his service for $250 to selling coaching on this to other digital marketers for $10,000, all because he changed, and it was very easy to see and understand. If you're having trouble communicating who you are and what you do, then you need one of these to be able to sit down and say, this is my map, this is the system, this is the blueprint for me to be able to deliver the results. And he gave a fantastic testimony, and now he's got his book, his online blueprint, his courses, his training. The whole thing has exploded all around the system that he actually put into a blueprint. And again, we've got a mortgage broker and a financial planner, uses a very, very simple blueprint. The reason I'm showing this one, he is within the confines of a franchise, yet still he's actually getting 3 times. When he goes to a trade show, he's getting 3 times the national appointment rate. He's getting 4 times the leads of anybody else on the stand because he's taking people through and saying, here's my blueprint to be able to deliver the results that you want, instead of saying, hey, I'm good, I'm a mortgage broker or I'm a financial planner, come and use me. It really helps you stand out no matter what industry you are in. Now, communicate. I'm not going to go through too much here, but there are 3 main things in communicate. Videos is the fastest way to be seen as a leader and authority. Facebook now gives 6 times the attention to live streams than it does for normal videos, which is 5 times the reach of just posts, text and picture posts. So if you're not doing videos in your business, you are going to get left behind, and we spend a whole day showing you how to do it. Books. Videos is the fastest way. Book is still the most powerful. When you are an author, you become an authority. And then when you learn how to speak and you can communicate, whether it's digitally like this or live in front of groups, it's most powerful. All of this here is exactly the same sort of things that I've been using in my business for 30 years. I opened up a health club in '83. Positioning, packaging, and doing things different to most other people has created several 6 and 7 big businesses, some of them multinational, and some of them I franchised into 5 countries. All of this is exactly the same. And when you learn all of this, it doesn't matter whether it was the old MySpace or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever is coming up next. You will be able to transfer all of this into whatever the platform is. So it's not worrying about the platform, it's being able to use it no matter what the platform is. So we're going to go through and talk about how to communicate, but now we're getting into the selling part, which is the big thing, because most professionals hate selling. The reason they hate selling is because it's personal. They sell themselves. So what I've done is taken the pressure off you selling yourself. We've got the system. So we're actually selling the system, not yourself. And you get to enjoy it. Most of you love helping people. When you can sit down the way that I'm going to show you in just a second, how you can work with somebody, create an outcome, and then have them say, wow, that makes sense. I want to get started with you. It's you collaborating with somebody to create that solution, not convincing them verbally that they must buy from you. And that is so much less stress, and it's faster and much more enjoyable to get somebody started. So very quickly, the reason that we use the blueprint, it is less stress, but much higher conversions. I don't have anybody yet that hasn't doubled their conversion rate by using this formula. Collaborate, not convince. The pit stops I'm going to show you in a second, but when you take the pressure off selling yourself, it makes such a difference to your life, and you feel really good about working with people. Therefore, you get more excited about the sales process, you do more of it, and your business goes through the roof. So one of the guys that we've worked with, he positioned himself differently. Instead of being a web or an app developer, he is a digital business strategist. That's what he did. He put his blueprint together. He works with people, not just creating their website, that's what he does, but a solution to their business problems, which is the actual website and the digital solutions. What happened, he is now closing 95% of the people who come to talk to him. They come to talk to him knowing that he is that person, knowing that he is unique and a leader in that area, because he doesn't call himself a web developer or an app developer. He creates the digital business solutions, and they're there for that reason, which is a much higher level reason than just getting a website built. And he's openly said that he's added 6 figures to his business just because of that there. So here's the blueprint, and this is how your blueprint actually should look at the end of a conversation with somebody. And I'm going to quickly take you through this and show you how we've got to this thing. So we've had the conversation about who they are, what they do, what are their problems, what are their needs, their wants, and their why they want to do this. And then very quickly, we would have had that conversation, and we've got to the first part, and we'd have spoken about, so what would it mean to you to be seen as a leader in the marketplace and actually attracting a higher level of clients? We'd have had a discussion, thrown a few things around, and we'd have agreed, and he'd have said, well, that's an extra, $1,500 per month by increasing my fees by this. Sensational. Now, we would have looked at their packaging and how they did things and how we could have changed that. And say, what if we put the packaging this way? You increased your retention, you increased your referrals. What would that mean to you in a month? And then he would have said, well, that's an extra $2,000 per month just by getting one extra referral per month and getting them staying longer. Fantastic. Now, could you see how a blueprint like this would make selling so much easier? Do you think you would be able to sell a lot better and you'd actually get out there and get greater results? Yes, I'd love to. Yep, that would add an extra $30,000. So you can see what we're doing here. These are the value pit stops with, yes, this is going to be a benefit here, this is going to be a benefit here, and here. So we've got some financial benefits, but the other thing is we've got some emotive benefits too. Yes, it's going to be easier to use and it's going to save me time. How much time? We'd have calculated, well, that's an extra 5 hours per week. 5 hours per week, that's nearly a whole day. What would that do for you with your productivity? Give you some more time off, more time with your family. So what we're adding here is some emotive benefits, some financial benefits. They're all the value pit stops. We're going through, we're talking about the increase in leads, less stress, better conversions. Hey, if we just increased our conversions from 20% to 40%, that's double the sales, double the conversions, and that's an extra $5,000. So at the end of just a quick chat around the blueprint, and you've collaborated with this, and these are their figures that they've put in working with you as well. You say, well, listen, by the looks of it, well, there's 1,500, there's 3,500, 6,000. Okay, we've got 7,500, we've got 12,500, we've got 13,000 here, saving 5 hours, less stress, better conversions. Can you afford not to put this into your business? Does it make sense that we implement this sooner rather than later? So that's the stressful part of it. That's it. You've collaborated. And it doesn't make sense that we start on this sooner rather than later, because if you don't, you're going to be losing that $13,000 per month. When you get to that point there, you're having a discussion. The objections are not there because they've worked on it with you and they've collaborated and they've virtually convinced themselves, which is the highest form of influence, self-influence, that yes, this makes sense. And all you're doing is taking the next logical step with them. So that's the part of the training that I'm going to be doing over the 3 days, face-to-face with you. We're going to be doing the training, but we're going to be implementing. You'll be walking out with your positioning, with your blueprint, with your packaging, and also how to use videos and how to create your book to be an Amazon bestseller. That's all jam-packed into the 3 days. Does it make sense now that we work on that first so that you've got all that collateral? I'm going to hand you over to Michael. He's going to tell you how you can create your own referral teams and have them through. Because when you've got that clarity on who you are and what you do, and you're clear on it, you can pass that on to your strategic partners and they're clear and they're going to be able to refer many more people to you. So that's it from me. I look forward to seeing you in the actual training, and we certainly look forward to helping you unleash your business. Cheers.
Thanks, Steve, for passing that over. It's so exciting to be with you guys, and can't wait just to share with you a little bit more about what this Business Unleashed program is all about. How to unleash your business in the next 90 days to be able to get more sales, fill your leads bucket with as many leads as you want, and grow your teams and become a better leader, so that way it takes you out of the business. You see, if you're still having to do everything, you don't have a business. You are just trading time for money. And when Kel comes up next, he's going to be able to share with you exactly how you, A, become a better leader, B, get better leverage, but C, most importantly, take yourself out of the business. But before we go there, let's talk about what we call our $1 Million Referral System. And let's share with you how we're going to help during this particular program make sure that you get a very full leads bucket. Now, former teacher by trade, I like drawing. I don't have my blackboard, but we've got the iPad. We're going to make this interactive, a bit of fun, and stick with me here as we do a bit of drawing along the iPad. So this is the problem. Majority of the time, we do not generate anywhere near enough qualified leads compared to what we want. No one passes you qualified referrals, or certainly not the number that you want to get. You're doing everything yourself. If you want to take a week off, your marketing takes a week off. You don't get anywhere near as many leads as you want. Knowing that only about 15% of people are ready to buy from you right now, that means you need an awful more amount of leads in your leads bucket than the number of people you want as clients. A lot of the time, we don't know where to start. There are so many shiny objects. This next best thing, this platform, that widget, do it this way, do it that way. Imagine if you could just have people who every single day fill their leads bucket, showing you exactly how to do exactly the same thing. That's what this Unleash Your Business program is all about. As Steve mentioned, it's not about trying to get training from people who go, I hope this works. It might work. Hey, how about you try it out first and then let's see if it works. Now, this is about using exactly the same strategies, exactly the same methodologies, exactly the same systems as what we use ourselves. We generate over 140 leads every single day into our leads bucket. Whether I'm in the business or not, we get 140 leads into our business every single day. That's the sort of system that allows you to be able to grow, allows you to be able to scale, allows you to be able to get out of the business and actually have a business. The reasons why you went into business to start with: time, freedom, money. Okay, so we've got to get rid of some of these problems that we're currently facing. So what we'd really love to have are referral teams that pass us an endless stream of referrals. We'd love to have networks sharing us and giving us new exposure into their networks. Imagine if your business just solely existed because of word of mouth. It can when you use your networks properly. A full leads bucket with qualified leads, not just people who are going to waste your time, effort, don't have the money, but qualified leads. Imagine if you really could have an overabundance of referrals, exposure, doors being open, partnerships opportunities popping up every single day. Not just once or twice a month, but every single day. That's what we're going to help build over the time we're together. Now, if I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, just really quickly, I'm the founder of Referral Marketing Guru. We've still got the #1 referral marketing podcast on iTunes since 2013. We've got 2 #1 referral marketing bestsellers on Amazon, soon to have a 3rd. We've got the #1 referral marketing training around the globe. We call that our $1 Million Referral System. And we're the experts for places like Huffington Post, Inc.com, Business Blueprint, Entourage, formerly with KPI, the CEO Network. There are so many organizations where we're the actual expert on referral marketing for their members. So we are seen everywhere, heard everywhere, and that's why we really get the impact that we get to make all around the globe, because we are the leaders in referral marketing training around the globe. So Steve talked about blueprints. Let's have a look at this little one. In the end, we want to have our own $1 million referral system, a system that whether we work it or not, whether we're there or not, whether we're holidays or not, whether we're asleep or awake, it's going to work. And that's what we want to be able to build. So to be able to do that, we focus on 3 core things. We focus on building referral teams. We focus on using our networks more effectively. We focus on creating partnerships to be able to fill our sales funnels. You see, when you build your teams properly and use your networks properly, you have a full leads bucket. When you use your networks properly and create partnerships, you'd be amazed at the number of opportunities that you just didn't even know existed will come flowing to you. When you build your referral teams and use partnerships, the amount of money that you were previously leaving on the table, you'll be amazed at how much now comes into your bank account. When we don't build our referral teams, we finish up with a trickle of leads. Nowhere near enough to sustain our business. I want you to have a different problem. See, for most businesses, their problem is, where am I going to get my next lot of leads from? Where am I going to get clients from? Where am I going to be able to speak to new prospects from? So then they go out and they've got to spend 10 days a month going to networking events where everyone's trying to sell, so no one's there just to buy your stuff. They've got to cold call. They've got to knock on doors. They've pretty much just got to hope that someone falls in their lap. So how about we take away the hope and we actually put in place structures and systems so that we don't rely on hope anymore? See, the people who don't use their networks properly are leaving money on the table, and they're not earning anywhere near the amount that they should. You're going to see shortly just some simple little things we talk about that can help change that. If you're not creating partnerships each and every day, you've got no leverage. You're doing it all yourself. It's why so many businesses fail in the first 5 years, because they get burnt out. If you have to do everything yourself, then you don't have a business. You just have a job that's probably more stressful than turning up 9 to 5. So this is what the overview of our $1 million referral system. This is where we're going to start doing a bit of drawing. So at the very start, and why Steve goes in first, is because you've got to be what you are known for. Once you understand what you're known for, once you can articulate that, once you've got that really clear, then the rest becomes really easy. So we talk about having 5 marketing channels. Okay, so these are our marketing channels. Rather than using SEO, pay-per-click, Facebook ads, nothing wrong with them, but why would you pay for marketing if you don't have to? Why would you use channels where you're not in control? Facebook decides to shut down, Facebook ads are gone. As soon as your keyword becomes popular with SEO, you get charged through the roof. So you're in the hands of everybody else, not in control yourself. So we talk about having 5 channels, building our partner channel, our network channel, our social channel, our live and leverage channel, and our retargeting channel. So we're in control of all of that. It doesn't matter what anyone else does. We're still in control and responsible for what it does. So using those channels is great, but usually what takes place is people go, oh, we've got the same sort of networks, let's be referral partners. And they're all excited and off they go. In the first week, maybe 2 or 3 phone calls, but nothing happens. It's simply, hey, can you look out in your client list to see if you've got a referral for me? And the other person says the same. And in the end, very little takes place. And very little takes place because we don't have the right tools for our channels to use. So what we're going to be doing, as you'll see shortly, is we need to be building structures and systems to allow your marketing to work. So from those tools, that's going to allow us to collect data, someone's name, email, phone number, to fill our leads bucket. But just getting a lead in your leads bucket doesn't mean that someone's going to buy from you. Do you know that 85% of people who come into your leads bucket aren't ready to buy from you? Only 15% are. So therefore, we need to have a great system that allows us to nurture, that allows us to get the right prospects to raise their hands to say, yes, I'm ready to work with you. And as we continue to enhance our relationship with them, then all of a sudden, we get that 15% coming down and paying us. So straight away, you can see how this fits in really well with how Steve's positioned you to start with, the collateral that Steve's helped you build. And now you've got all that in place, it's time to build a system that allows you to get that leads bucket full. But to be able to do that, it's not just a matter of teaching you how to be able to do pay-per-click, how to be able to do social media marketing, how to be able to write blogs, how to be able to do content. See, if you just do one-off stuff, that's not going to fill your leads bucket forever. That's just one-off stuff. What you actually want is a system that works with or without you. I can look at the wall in front of me and I can see what my A activities are that allows this machine to continue to work. When we travel overseas, there are times where I can't get to a computer. We don't get internet. We still get 100 plus leads coming into that lead bucket, whether I'm there or not. And that's what we're going to be able to build together. So I appreciate that this is a little bit small, but I want you to realize that when we put the $1 Million Referral Plan unfolded, unleashed into your business over the 3 days that we're together, we're going to be building your $1 Million Referral System. We're going to be creating your lead bucket tools, creating your referral partners, getting your networks engaged, creating cross promotions, filling your leads bucket right there on the spot, getting you live and leverage on other people's podcasts, webinars, getting speaking events. They're not hard, but there's an art and a process and a plan to get that done. I speak some 60 times a year around the globe. I don't ask for a speaking event. They all come to me by doing the right sorts of activities and plans that we get our partnership club guys to be able to do. How to be able to nurture your audience properly, and how to make sure then through that nurturing that you're getting the right people to raise their hands so you can convert prospects into clients. Just quickly, without a $1 Million Referral System, this is what takes place. You have a leads triangle, whether you know it or not. And your leads triangle might either be blocked, meaning no leads are coming in. It might be leaky, meaning leads are coming in but going out straight away because we've got such a bad nurture process. You could only end up with a trickle of leads, not enough to sustain your business, compared to having a constant flow, or even better, a flood, which allows you to raise your prices and only work with the people you want to work with. So right now, you're either in the red zone or the green zone. If you're in the green zone, fantastic. Probably not a great deal we're going to be able to do to improve. But I know that the majority of people watching this, the reason you're watching this is because we're in the red zone. And we want to be able to go from being in that red zone up to being into that green zone. So when we talk about building our referral teams, we talk about building a team of 66 people. That's like having 66 people on your sales team without having to pay them. We break them down into different areas. There's set agendas that we go through. So no longer is it about hope and luck. It's about following a process. It's about following a structure, a system, a plan that every single month you've got people who are filling your leads bucket using the tools we've created to ensure that your partner channel is working properly. Here's just one example. So Matt's part of Partnership Club, been with us for a long time. Last year alone, and Matt only has like 10 partners. He doesn't even come close to having 66 partners. Generated $500,000 worth of business just in 2017. In 2016, it was about $200,000 worth of business. And that's because he uses his partner channel along with the tools to then fill his leads bucket with qualified people. See, it doesn't matter in the end how many partners you have. It's having a partner channel with the right tools to then fill that leads bucket. And that's what we're going to create in this Unleash Your Business 90-day program. When you think about being able to get leverage, we simply say you've got 7 days in the week. We all do. So when you look at your 7 days, are you having to fill your leads bucket by yourself? And if you are, we call that a red day. If you're the only person putting leads into your leads bucket that day, you've got no leverage. However, if someone else is, because someone else has shared one of your tools, someone else has promoted your event, someone else has shared your webinar, someone else has got you on their podcast, on their webinar, you're speaking for them, you've got leverage. So that becomes then a green day. Someone else is filling your leads bucket for you. Obviously, what we want to be able to see is a week where every day is green. And that's what we're going to help you build, where you get leverage and every day someone gets to fill your leads bucket for you. So I know that already this morning, we've got close to 70, I think it was about 74 leads that came in a space of an hour. I know someone just shared something of ours. Imagine if you sat there and all of a sudden you got 74 leads. For most of you, you'd be done for the next 3, 4, 5 months. What a great feeling to know that you've got that many leads coming into your leads bucket. That's what building this is all about. See, for a lot of people, they don't use their networks well enough. We all have a network, but we use our networks as a transaction. The only time we talk to them is when we want something, when we expect them to do something for us. So imagine if you had a process, a plan that allowed your networks to understand that you cared about them, that you could engage with your networks, and therefore your networks would create abundance of opportunities for you. They'd be walking billboards for you. Because when that sort of stuff happens, this is what takes place. So a physio up in northern suburbs of Brisbane who we were working with, and they already had so many good things in place, but they were hopeless at using their networks, at getting their current patients to actually talk about them. So January is their quietest month. They went from what they would normally see, about 70 people, to seeing over 300 people. Now, for a lot of you, you might go, I don't even need that sort of growth. But imagine if you could just do it whenever you wanted to, because you understood how to use your networks effectively and you understood what to be able to do because you had this system in place. Creating partners is all about how you think. And there are 3 levels to our thinking. There are people who are transaction thinkers. They're simply thinking about themselves and how others can help them. We call them the hunters. Very rarely are they going to have successful businesses. The next level of thinking is what we call our power thinkers. They understand that it's about win-wins and collaboration, but they don't do it often enough, and they don't have year-long, 3-year, 5-year plans to be able to do it. So what we want to help you turn into is a transformational thinker. And that there is all about being able to create an opportunity from any situation. And not just a one-off opportunity, but an opportunity that's going to help you for years to come. Because that is where your business growth and filling your leads bucket and getting the sort of opportunities you want comes from. And when you go from being a transaction thinker to a transformational thinker, you'll be amazed at the sorts of things that take place. Okay? Things such as these. Jason being a tradie up on the Gold Coast, looks after building sites and people who have asbestos in their house. Well, just in a space of a week, the amount of business he created by understanding and coming along to a single day workshop we ran up there. Simple little thing from Izza. They spoke to 850 people who they had never spoken to before that they had built in their CRM. And just by a simple engagement email, they had 85 people respond around, yes, I'm still looking for my next property investment. Now, most property investment people don't have 85 people in their life respond to them, let alone off one simple email. John, Partnership Club member, who just simply got back to following the system and within weeks of beginning, had 2 clients, had another offer, but most importantly, a big project. He simply got underway because he knew how to re-engage and get people moving forward, raising their hands and nurturing properly. So they're just some examples of what happens when you build your own $1 million referral system. That's what we're going to do over the 3 days. Cover 9 sections. We're going to get our hands dirty, head down, and get it built. But it's not just the 3 days. It's a 3 days with Steve. It's a 3 days with Cal. It's 9 days in total of implementation with support in between. It's not just a matter of, hey, let's spend some time together. Good luck, off you go. You're going to have follow-up webinars. You're going to be able to get the support you need, because in the end, we want you to build this. And when you build all 3 things, you're going to be amazed at how easy business becomes. See, there are 2 things that we talk about. One is you've got to be able to attract, you've got to be able to convert, and you've got to be able to deliver. But then there's another aspect to this. And sure, you've still got to be able to attract. And if you don't convert, you're not going to have a business. But if you don't lead your teams, you are always going to be doing this by yourself. And this Unleash Your Business program in 90 days gets you to be able to be an attracting machine, a converting machine, and be able to lead your teams, but more importantly, be able to grow your business, because you're not the one who has to micromanage everything, get your hands on everything, and allow yourself the freedom to be able to do why you went into business to start with. Make a greater impact, help enough other people. So I'm going to hand over to Cal now, who's going to talk to you why it's so important to be more productive, be a better leader, and be able to grow teams by having other people do stuff for you. Hopefully that's been super helpful, guys. I can't wait to be able to do some great stuff with you, as I know the other 2 are the same. You're going to see a button below, as Steve pointed out. That is how you get yourself involved, and can't wait to see you on the other side. Take care, and I'll see you real soon.
Hi there, Kelvin Holiday here, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about leadership and leverage as a part of the Unleash Your Business program. When we talk about leadership and leverage, this is something that I've had 30 years experience in leading people and leading teams from as little as 1 and 2 through to over 170 people in the one organisation. I've also been able to help a lot of different organisations to be able to increase their teams into the thousands. So some of the strategies we're going to learn in here is how to build a quality team, to get the culture, productivity, and also to understand sometimes when we need to outsource instead of actually having it as an in-house team. So let me just start with the idea of culture and what we're going to cover in this leadership and leverage section. Culture is really the rock in which we build our businesses. If we can get that culture right and understand where it's going, we will actually have a solid foundation. And so the first part of that foundation is to get your thinking right, to get your mindset in the right space. Now, if you're going to have a growing, thriving business that's going to totally unleash the awesome that's within you and all those dreams and aspirations you have, you need to move away from a fixed mindset, past a growth mindset, which is where most people talk about, to where I call a transformational mindset, where you are an absolute influencer within your team and within your community that you're working with, within all your clients. So the first thing we're going to be challenging you with is around how do you get your mind to think a little bit bigger or a lot bigger? How do we build a culture within your team where your team is on fire 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and all they're doing is looking forward to coming to work? Wouldn't that be cool? It's what I've been able to do in many of the businesses I've worked in, and also within the transformational group we've got now. It's a major part of your culture to understand as well what the people in your business are about, how they think, how they act. Now, there's a number of different tools around. There's things like Myers-Briggs and DISC, different personality profiles. Where I find those different personality profiles fall down a little is not in identifying a person's personality. That's great. But how many of each do you actually put in a team? What's the mix look like? So what are we going to be covering off within leadership and leverage is not just about getting the right culture, but understanding how to put a team together to have the right number of personalities in the room at the right time, to deal with the conflicts that are inevitably going to happen when you have people working together. I call them apes and saints. Sometimes we have people who just like to swing from the chandeliers, and we have people who want to hold us back and get all the detail right. And those two groups get in conflict so often. So we want to actually make sure we get those things right. We also want to think, when we talk about culture and think about how people work and act, is understand we've got two sides to our brain. So when we start to set goals for people, some people are going to be very analytical, some people are going to be very creative. And so when we actually start to think about productivity, we need to understand that people work differently. And so we've got to have a creative part as well as a process part and an analytical part within our productivity model. That's a part of culture, and it also moves us into the second part I want to talk about today, and that is your productivity. Productivity, if you get the right understanding in your culture, now it's up to getting all the right systems in place as far as productivity is concerned. Knowing the right tools, knowing the right ways in which to apply them, and there are so many on the market, which ones to pick. And so we're going to help you to pick the right one for your business. And sometimes that might change, and how to actually make that decision of when it's time to change. Things like CRMs, client relationship management systems, project management software. How do you actually do automatic bookings online? Where do we store all our data? How do we actually go between Google and Office 365, for instance? Where do we store our information? These are all productivity questions, and we're going to show you some of the best ways around to be able to get your productivity through the roof. Many people have asked me, how in the heck, Kel, do you get so much done? Well, it's because I use technology where technology is good. I use people where people are good. And I use my mind just to be able to navigate between where it is. I have that transformational mindset to make sure that people are the key to our business, and the applications is what makes it easier for people, not complicated. You don't want to have thousands of applications and everybody confused which one to use. It's about choosing the right ones for you. And a part of this productivity section is going to be about what are those ones that are right for you, and how do we use them to build systems that can reproduce things so you get exactly the right outcome every single time. I know myself, I've led an RTO, registered training organisation, for many years. and there's the compliance and the regulations and the governance around that is astronomical. It is the most highly regulated business there is, not just in Australia, but I believe in the world as far as compliance. And if you get something wrong, you actually lose your license. So if we've been able to manage it within that environment and win awards for it, I think for any business we've got you covered. So productivity and getting the right systems in place is going to be a major thing. Also understanding you've got a true north. Where are you actually going and what does it need to look like? So you get all your goals set, everything done right, and you get your productivity in place. Know which systems, what you need to do, and when you need to do them. Also, when to delegate. When to do it to a team member, when to delegate a task to somebody local or somebody in an overseas office. And the reality is if you've got the right systems in place, you'll be able to do that with ease. So how do you actually delegate with some sort of level of reassurance that things are going to stay right and that you get the right application and the wisdom and knowledge is passed on 100% accurately every single time? There's a saying that a good friend of mine, Dale Beaumont, says all the time. He says, if you've got to do something more than once, build a system. And so true. Every time you actually do something a second, third, fourth time, you've just wasted a whole bunch of time. If you're doing it as a business owner, you need to be able to get that system into somebody else's hands who doesn't cost as much of time and money as you. You need to be working on your business rather than in your business. You've heard this said so many times. And a part of this program, we're going to be showing you how to outsource and build systems that will make it happen. One of the gifts we are going to give you is 50 ready-built systems that is going to totally unleash your business from day one. We're not just going to give you the systems, we are going to give you some outsourced teams to be able to help you get it done. That's how we're going to fast track you through this program and get everything done within 90 days. 90 days. Can you imagine going from where you are now within 90 days, having all your systems built, everything done for you, and now all you've got to do is actually think what's next. I hope this has given you a bit of an insight into what it is to be a real leader, a transformational leader, and to have leadership and leverage right within your business. If you're going to unleash your awesome and unleash everything you have within your business, it's time to make a decision. If you've got any further questions, please jot them down, note them back to us. All right, book a strategy call now so you can fully comprehend what this will do for you to give you back your life and to build a business that you've always dreamt about. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks, Kel. Steve back again, and didn't I tell you that this is some sort of training program? It is different to anything else out there in the marketplace, and I've got a couple more surprises for you that may have just been glossed over in all the information about what we're going to be doing for you in this program. Let me give you a very quick recap. I'm going to kick the whole thing off by working with you to really uncover your authority positioning, and that's going to lay the platform for everything else to follow. We're going to be working on your packaging. Not only that, we're going to create your own client conversion blueprint that's going to take the stress off selling and just make it so much easier to get people on board and wanting to do business with you. Then we pass over to Michael, and that's the big thing there. Once we've got all that in place and you are positioned as the leader, then Michael's going to show you how you fill your lead bucket with your referral partners, your strategic partners, how to build your team so you do have a constant flow of people wanting to do business with you. I hear it time and time again. People are saying, but how do I get more leads? How do I get more leads? And they're wasting so much money out there. Referral marketing and working with some great strategic and joint venture partners is virtually free, and it is the most guaranteed way that you can fill your funnel and have great people working with you. And then we've got Kel coming on, and he's going to work with you on leadership and leverage, your own personal leadership, your team leadership, to really work and get the most out of your productivity. And as far as the leverage goes, he's going to be showing you some systems that you can put into your business, and you actually get those systems, whether you want to put them in yourself or you could take them and hand them on to somebody else. Then the big thing is, we don't leave you there. You will actually get 5 people working for you: graphic artist, video editor, digital marketer, and they're going to help you put those systems in your business. Look, how many times have you walked away from a seminar or a course and you said, you've got all this information, but if only I had somebody to implement it for me, because I don't know that stuff, and then it just sits on the shelf and nothing happens. This program, we're going to work with you each for 3 days and make sure that you implement it on the spot. When Kel's finished with you, you get access to those 5 people to really go back and put in place everything that he has taught you. Now, the other thing that you may not know, that this is a government recognized training program. So when you go through this program, you'll get recognized. You'll get a diploma of business and a diploma of leadership and management. So if you're in some form of B2B coaching and you're working with other people, and having that qualification is of benefit to you, not only are you going to build your business, but you're going to get a recognized qualification through a recognized RTO that you're going to sit on your shelf and really help you stand out. It is a unique training program. In 90 days, you're going to have your business really exploding, and a qualification to boot. Now, your next step is just jump on a call with us. We'll see whether it's right for you and whether you're right for the program, and then we can get you enrolled. And in 90 days, you're going to be out there absolutely smashing it in your business. I'm excited about it. I look forward to working with you and helping you really grow your business. Cheers.